A very good morning, a bright and gorgeous morning to each and every one of you who've taken time to join me. I know I put there 9 o'clock, but every Tuesday and Thursdays, we will be starting at 8 a.m. And this Thursday is going to be a bit different because I'm actually going to invite another mom to share her thoughts, her creative ideas on how to have a blissful Chinese New Year because it's the first time that we're having COVID. So stay tuned for Thursday. It's going to be 8 a.m. And the reason why I put it at 8 a.m. is for you working moms on your way to work. Just tune in to something positive like us for topics that we are keen in. And for those of you who are staying home, you've already sent your kids to school over breakfast. Enjoy this morning, perk me up. Okay, so I'm going to dive into today. Type in any questions, okay, if you have, and do share if you love what you're hearing. I want to ask you, we are starting the new year in just 3 days. Do you know one very simple way to be prosperous? So let's talk about what's the definition of prosperity, okay? I actually Googled to find. It actually means successful, flourishing, or thriving. And I take it not just to mean financially, but with regards to relationship and my default emotions. So question here now, okay? When was the last time you took stock for yourself? Now, I just want you to take some time to take financial, emotional, and social stock. I'm going to ask you specifically, has it been better or worse? And foremost, if we tell the truth, actually, it might be quite similar. So financially, I want you to just think through now. Do you have significantly more money in your bank account today than you did the same time last year? I want you to just spend some time thinking as I share my screen. Bank account wise, more or less? Okay. And then the second one that I want us to take stock is socially. Has your circle of friends expanded to include those whom you are aligned to? Or is it largely the same group of friends? And finally, emotions. What is your default emotion when you wake up? In the middle of the day and before you go to sleep? And I'm asking this when no one is watching, not when you see a colleague or see a friend, but in the private life when no one is watching. Is it worry, insecurity, or joy and abundant positivity? I'm inviting us to take stock because the reality is that for most of us, it will continue with slight improvements until we significantly break out of our old patterns. And the secret, the way to break out of our old pattern is to interrupt it with something that we are not familiar with. So for those of you who know that I am about transforming mindsets are very internal. So today will be very refreshing because I'm going to give you an experience of how transforming your outside will actually impact your inner thoughts. Okay, and the perfect time to do it is none other than this week, because with Chinese New Year, we typically spring clean, right? The question is here, why? Besides the fact that it ushers in a new start, I think this tradition is great to remind us to take stock. Companies do that regularly. Can you imagine you sell, and then you don't know how much stock versus money you have, right? And why not us? So on a quarterly basis, let me show this to you, yeah? That's what I do with my family, where the times that I take stock would be March, will be the school holidays lah. The March, the June, the September, and November holidays. And this is what we do when we take stock, okay? Okay, that's not a pretty picture of me, but I literally take out all the books. So this was in November, taking out all the books, surrounding it with a lot of mess, and then tidying up 2, 4, 6. So you can see 6 bags that we literally threw out. They were old books, used workbooks that we won't be able to use. And we had another bag of books that we actually donated to school because it's more the textbooks where the girls won't use it anymore. So the reason why I do this, right, is let me pull this out. The reason why I do this is because we all have input, right? Like we eat. So imagine eating and then there's no output. We will actually get poisoned. We all know the toxin within our body will not serve. And that's why there should be a flow. In, out, in, out. So to bring prosperity, the one thing to do is to DELUTTER, literally declutter. Okay, so for those of you who don't believe, I want to show you something very honestly, okay? This is a picture of my study. So so you can see the unsightly clutter. This is how it was for 3 years in my study room. And when you look at the picture on the left, from bottom all the way to the top, easily like 16 boxes or more. And it's not just in my study room that was full of unsightly clutter, but look at the second picture on the right. In my in the kids' room, it's supposed to be a triple-decker bed, right? The top, full of boxes, and it's stack all the way to the ceiling. So I purposely want to show you the ugliest because that's the reality. And I live with it for 3 years. For 3 years, I made a mental note to clear it, of course. But 3 years quickly passed before anything was done. So I want to ask you now, please type into a chat group, into the chat, how do you feel when you see this clutter? When you look at the old boxes, I've got even videos of them, and notice the boxes, there are boxes behind the boxes and under. I would love to hear how you feel. For me, I felt burdened, messy. I was so turned off by the unsightly boxes. And can I tell you the truth? We discovered baby cockroaches. Can you imagine? I was like, oh my goodness, it's so gross. It's not just unsightly to the eyes. Now the hygiene is being compromised in the house. And I'm someone who loves cleanliness, right? And to be very honest, my emotions, I was just resigned. How would I clear all these boxes? So to share with you all what are in the boxes, right? Before I share with you what are in the boxes, I want to dive into the why. 3 reasons why we don't break out of our old patterns. Okay, so number one, it's really our mindset. Even though the sight of these boxes was a turn off, I see them daily, multiple times a day. Every time I pass my study room, I see it. Past the girls' room, I see it. It becomes almost a blind spot. Yet, why did I live with it for 3 years in my life? It wasn't like I don't know how to clear them, right? Just do it, right? As with so many other things in life, we know what we want. I want to lose weight. I don't want to shout at the kids. I want to be doing excellent work in what I do. But I am not doing what I should, what I know I should be doing, what I knew I wanted. And that is why it's so clear it is a mindset block. And I just want to be a bit more candid. So you begin to discover your own mindset blocks, okay? And I want to say this, these are all unconscious. So it's not like it's clear there for me. It's clear I want to do it, but because I'm not taking the actions that I want to, I begin to look deeper at the negative, disempowering, limiting beliefs that were holding me back. So the first thought, right? I want you to take note. Are there negative thoughts in your life? Write that down if you are. You know, what are the negative thoughts in your life? For me, it was, will anybody want any of this? Whom should I sell to? So what is inside are actually very beautiful glass bottles that I customize words. And I bought actually to inspire people. But my negative thoughts continued, you know. Yeah, you made a mistake ordering this. You shouldn't have ordered this. Now you order this, you're stuck. And then out of 2,000 that I ordered, right, more than half of it broke air freight on the way. So can you imagine with all these unconscious thoughts, right? The repeated voices in my head reminding me about the bad decisions I've made. Question to you. In our lives, do we allow ourselves to be prisoners of this guilt and stay in bondage? Whatever wrong or bad decisions we've made in the past, do we free ourselves from it? Or do we live a sadder life out of guilt? Okay. Number 2, I want us to write fear and doubt. The other mindset is fear and doubt. The fear and doubtful thoughts I have, right, is after I ask people, they will laugh at me. They will say, And then fear, there's so much fear. It's like 600 bottles, so much work. Who will buy? After in transportation, what if some break, just like it did in my air freight where more than half broke, right? Don't know who else will buy from me. Don't know what price they will pay. I couldn't move forward at all, right? So in life, right, we have so many what ifs. We have so many uncertainties. I'm not sure. And as we have all these uncertainties in breaking out of our comfort zone into new terrain, do we allow these thoughts, fear, and doubt to hold us back? Yes, we may not know the outcome, but does that even stop us from trying? And the third one, my biggest limiting belief is this: scarcity. The scarcity mindset. Of course, I knew if I want to clear, just donate them, or even better, sell them at cost. But this is the thought, and I want to invite us to consider how this turns up whenever you want to declutter. This thought, for me, what if I have an event the next time and I could have gotten higher than the cost? What if I need it later? So imagine even when we go through our clothes, right? We look at our clothes, we look at our pots and pans, our wardrobe, we look at gifts that people have given us. I don't need it now. I haven't used it in the past 3 years, but what if I need it later? When I realized that really this was my biggest block, the scarcity mindset, I decided to act despite all the negative, the fear, the doubt, and this scarcity, my voices in my head. So I did a poster, and while I was doing the poster, there were still so many negative voices. And now I want to ask you, okay, what are some negative mindsets that keeps you stuck? And often we are not conscious of them until we embark on a huge project like clearing the clutter. That definitely begins to trigger all those negative voices. What if you need it later, even though we haven't used for 3 years, right? This is cost so much. It's such a waste to throw. I want us to go to the source of that thinking. Really, because if we look, it's fear and scarcity and the feeling that I don't have enough. So that's typically the mentality of a hoarder, right? Someone who keeps and keeps and keeps, that I won't have enough. And so she keeps all her outdated clothes, hoping, I'm giving us an example, for fashion to come back, or that she can pass those clothes over to her daughter. Really? The alternative? Isn't it time to show your daughter, just show your daughter the clothes that you grew up with, bless someone with the clothes, throw it away, and move on to really connect with your daughter and discover the clothes that she likes. You see, the truth is we attract what's in our mind. So it's no wonder we keep repeating the cycle. But what if we boldly dare to break out of our comfort zone for a renewed mindset of love, abundance, and that I am deserving of good things. I deserve a new wardrobe. So our actions are often a reflection of our thoughts. Do we hang on to negative mindset even though they no longer serve us? Or are we actually willing to shift? And then the second reason, big reason why people don't want to declutter is sentimental. And I can identify with that because my husband is a sentimental person. So it brings me to the second one, right? I want us to look at, so the first one will be our mindset. The second big chunk is the relationships. How are the relationships around us? Remember at the beginning, I told us to take stock of this three: our finances, our relationship, and our emotions. So our relationships. So all the sentimental things that we tend to keep, right? Many of these are things from the past. And my challenge is going to be this, right? We all have had successes in the past. We all have had wonderful memories with that someone special. Question is, sorry, there's an aeroplane here, so I don't know if it's blocking my volume, so I'll pause for a while. And just take stock for yourself, yeah? It's very loud now. Do we hold on to past successes or memories? Or do they stop us from creating new memories? Do they keep us from truly living in the present? Okay. Sorry, I apologize for the aeroplane, you know, that then I had to stop for there for a bit, but I think it's good so that you can actually reflect, not just passively listen. Okay, so we all have wonderful relationships around us, but in keeping the items, whatever it is, do they stop us from creating new memories? So if I were to look at my past successes, there are so many, right? But the question here to ask is, how much of my time do I spend living in the present and how much in the future? Just take a look at your house, right? The amount of things you have from the past is very likely a reflection in proportion of how much mind space, even though we can't see that, we are actively engaged in. So don't get me wrong here, okay? I love my kids. You know, I've got 5, right? And I have an entire drawer of my kids' drawings and notes that they create for me. And I keep them. But that's all. It's just one drawer. And I regularly open it up and remind them, see, remember you used to draw this potato head in the past? So I show them how they used to be. We laugh about it. And I use that to bond us in the moment. And that's it. It's just in the drawer. One drawer, okay? Because at the end, my physical environment is a reflection of my internal space. Am I more focused? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you just type a yes? Then I won't break anymore. Derek says messy. Good morning, Jatin. Good morning, Derek. Hi, Mindy. No time, not important. Habit, yes. No time, more important. Mindy, can you type it if you can hear me amidst the aeroplane so that I know whether I should continue next time? If can hear me, just type yes. Cannot hear me, just type no. Too noisy. So that I just have a sense, okay? So Mindy, I was about to tell you, habit, I completely understand that. And when we have a habit, right, it's automatic, it's unconscious thought patterns that we have formed and we don't question them anymore. And unless we interrupt them, the old habits will play out. So if I tell you that clearing your space will bring you prosperity, are you ready for a new habit? And I will move into that. So when I talk about our space, right, our physical space is really a reflection of our inner. So I want us to look at the tree. When we look at the tree, we see the trunk, we see the leaves, we see the fruits. But deep under what really supports the tree are the roots. So even though we don't see the roots, we all know that the outside is alive because the roots are alive, right? If the outside is withered, most likely the roots have gone bad. And that's a very simple law of life. So I invite us to look at our outside, because sometimes how we go into the inner workings of our mind, right? Yes, I could spend days with you on mindset shifts, but a very easy way is really, if you trust me, to transform your outside, and it will, because it's connected. My outward is a manifestation of what is inside. My actions that I take is a manifestation of my thoughts. Okay, so back to relationships. How much of my physical space, right, if I look, is it relevant in the past, the present, or the future? Is there a balance? Or are there some things that I can begin to throw out to make space for what I truly want? So I assert that there are many things in our physical space that we survive with because we just don't want to make the effort to clear it out. And likewise, there are many disempowering thoughts in our mind that we keep because we don't want to take the effort to clear it out, and it costs us, okay? But before I go into what it costs us, I want to go into the third one. Finally, emotions. I want to show you a picture of the study now, right? This is how it looks. On the left picture is the first picture. Look on the right now. So yes, I still do have boxes, but at least 15 boxes were cleared. And in clearing the 15 boxes and the mini cockroaches and the silverfishes and don't know what other insects were in there, how does it feel now when you just look at it? Now, emotions. What is your default emotion? So why I'm so sure that clearing, decluttering will bring a smile is as I walk past my study now and I look, it makes me smile. Just looking at the contrast between the brown timber and the green grass, it brings joy. It's not just such a huge contrast from what it used to be, but it really is a milestone achievement for me, because at the back of my head, I know that this, what I kept saying, 3 years, is finally done. A mountain that I thought could not be overcome, I have taken actions and it's completely cleared. If I can clear that, what else is there I can't clear? So question is this: Do you constantly feel stuck? Or are your familiar emotions that of breakthrough or a victor, right? Is it more like I'm a victim, I feel overwhelmed in life, always not enough money? Notice that these thoughts are always repeated. Don't know how, always kids not listening to me, husband also don't love me. Or is it, what can I do about it? Am I the victor who can triumph over life? Small, bit by bit by bit. Okay, so this Thursday, I will share how to declutter physical and mental declutter together with another mom. We will be doing tips for our first CNY together. But I want to leave us with one thing before I end. Actually, two things. Let me take a look at my slide first. Okay, actually, two things. Yeah, I've come to the actually two things. Number one, now wherever you are, if you are inspired enough, I want you to take a stop check, meaning take a piece of paper, just take a walk around your house, just take a walk around, like, you know, and I want you to look out for what works and what doesn't work. So for example, is this light no more working, but I don't know why it's still there? It's time to change the light bulb. Is the paint on the wall? I can show you my old pictures, right? And then where is the biggest clutter? You know, open drawers. Begin to just take a walk around your house. That's one homework before we meet on Thursday. And the second thing that I want to share with you is, you asked me, Junior, you said you're going to share with us how you manifested 15K. And in sharing this, I want to leave. I want to close with this. So remember, immediately after I decluttered it was in the month of December. And just in the same week as I cleared the last box, so I gave it to I donated, I got it to charity, like donated to charity, was when I met up with this stranger whom I had to pass my Rise Up book. For those of you who know, it's a compilation of 31 amazing true short stories. And he basically, in just a casual conversation, got to know about me, about myself. And he, to cut the long thing short, he was like, Junior, you know what? Can you submit a code, because I am looking for somebody to train my team? I didn't think much about it, to be very frank, because that was Christmas time. I spent time with my family, but he kept messaging me. So I sent him a very short, like 1, 2, 3, across 4 weeks. This is what I will cover, 1 session per week. To cut the story short, I met him on the first week of January. We actually confirmed it, and it ended up in 2 trainings. 2 trainings, 15,000. If you ask me, Junior, how can you say that you clearing the clutter leads you to that? I'm quite sure. I don't know how to explain. It's not just that my emotions were being uplifted, but if you understand how powerful our mind is, our mind literally draws and attracts as we choose to focus. So while I choose to focus on just decluttering, prosperity came in, because I know what I am. Because as I clear away and I make space for what I don't want, which is clutter and all the bad negative thoughts, we all know this law, right? The universe abhors a vacuum. The universe cannot do with a vacuum. And then I begin on Thursday, so just 2 more days, I'll begin to show you how to bring in stuff to create a life that you truly want. So the $15,000 miracle in just 2 weeks, for just 2 trainings, which is 6 hours, is something that came in as a result of me saying, enough excuses, enough old habits. I'm bringing in the new. I am working on what makes me happy. Money is just a byproduct when we choose to be excellent and renew our minds. So I trust you've had a wonderful session. Please share this. Do join me this Thursday, where I will be with another mom. We'll talk about how to have a wonderful first COVID Chinese New Year. We're going to talk about the different struggles that parents and kids face, like too much sugar, or how do you say hi to the auntie, or where do we spend more time? And I think this year is going to be the first, because we've got so many regulations. So we will be going through it. So it's going to be a 1-hour session instead of my standard 30 minutes. Until then, remember, walk around, take stock. And as you take stock, come with your questions next week. And I look forward to you ushering prosperity as you choose to release the old mindsets that serve you no more. Blessed day. Bye.